To Sunil, the party dispersed at approximately 2 in the morning. I'm sure people wouldn't have gone to sleep right away. Your father said he was awake at 2:30 and saw the lights on. What time did you sleep? Aditi and I went to the bedroom around 2, but we would have fallen asleep around 2:45 or 3 latest. Right, Aditi? She nodded at him. The casual words Sunil had uttered shook me, and I pondered the extent of the intimacy between them. Did they have sex last night? Was it better than I? Did I understand her as well as I did? Did she moan and whisper, "I love you," in his ears when she came? I became aware of Aditi's gaze. I was sure she knew what I was thinking about. There was an uncanny telepathic connection between us. I felt disgusted at the power of my sentiments. "Well, what are you thinking?" asked Babu, giving undue importance to my blank stare. I looked at the inspector. The entire exercise of the murderer, creeping stealthily to the courtyard from the back gate, murdering Anil, and retracing his way via the courtyard to the back gate, would be a minimum of 20 minutes, right? Babu replied, "Yes, 20 minutes or more." I continued, "You'll notice that Anil's watch has stopped at 3:30 in the morning, most probably from a heavy impact while struggling with the murderer. That means in case the murderer was from the village, which I highly doubt, he or she would have entered the premises latest by 3:10 in the morning. That implies he would have started the process of breaking the lock by 3 o'clock. It's a strong lock. There would have been some sound. If people were awake at 3, someone would have heard something." Babu rushed towards Anil's body, lifted the limp wrist and nodded. The glass of the watch is cracked and stopped at 3:30. I addressed the crowd. "Did anyone of you hear any noises between 3 and 3:10 in the morning? It must have required quite an effort to break the lock." Paras walked his son's body and glanced at the wrist watch. He nodded, confirming my statement. He repeated my question to his family. I'll quickly rush. It was dark when the top of the hill again. The light from the moon lit her face, and her silky hair cascaded in the strong wind. Her eyes glistened with sad emptiness when she asked, "Do you think I'm a bad person? Am I responsible for Nishant's death?" "No, you're not," I lied. She looked into my eyes, searching my soul. "I believe you." Seconds later, we were kissing. It was the first time I touched a woman, and my technique was awkward. She took the lead, her experienced fingers grabbing my face and drawing me to her. My fingers trembled as I ran my hands on her body, lifting her t-shirt and brushing my lips against the nipples. She moaned and bit her lip. The scene changed. I was alone on the hill. There was a rustling of leaves behind me. I turned and saw Nishant, his arms outstretched. Blood was trickling from his slashed wrists to the ground. With the wide grin of a madman, I followed his gaze and saw Sunil and Aditi standing in front of me, holding hands, smiling down at me derisively. I woke up drenched in sweat. There's another kind of wet dream I preferred. I got up, went to the refrigerator, drank a liter of water. It was 9 in the morning. Pranay was still asleep. I didn't have the zeal to go to office. With consciousness creeping in, I felt a sense of destitution. It was one of those hopeless moments when a life hangs precariously on the edge and can only be saved if we're able to conjure up a reason for existence. I sought mental inactivity in the comfort of my bed and tried to go back to sleep. I was drowsy, but sleep eluded me. I lay on the bed staring at the empty walls. The thing about lying in bed and staring at the wall is that you gravitate towards past memories. Again and again I felt the emotion which I loathed, self-pity. Like a vulnerable puppy shivering in the rain, like the one she had held that damn night. I'll wind up with chapter 15. Bells were ringing in my head. I was pulled out of a disturbed sleep. My phone was ringing. I looked at the time and groaned. It was 5 in the morning. I had been asleep for less than 2 hours. Pranay was snoring in the front seat. I whacked him on the head. He was supposed to be keeping watch. I mumbled a dehydrated hello. It was a woman's voice. Good morning, this is Anjali. We met yesterday. Morning, did you know what time it is? You know the article I was writing? I wanted to read and preview it. It's being published today, front page. Your article now? Yes, it's not too much of a bother. I've been nervous wreck since last night. Couldn't sleep. I thought I should discuss it with you. Lady, the only articles I want to review now are and the. A good sleep is an extremely important ingredient for the sanity of man. I woke up Pranay and told him to keep vigilant. I returned. Abhijit had stayed indoors the entire night and received no visitors. It had been dark in the parking lot of the club, but the bag Abhijit had tossed in the Rena's car looked very similar to the one I had found in Leo's apartment. If someone was trying to hide 30 crores in cash, he would have probably bought a new set of bags from the same shop at the same time and probably the same kind. It was a long shot but worth 25 lakhs if I hit the target. Half an hour later I was entering the lobby of Orchid. The doorman gave me a cold stare and opened the door. I caught my reflection in the mirror. A crumpled t-shirt, shorts, floated, dishevelled hair, messy stubble and bloodshot eyes from too much booze and too little sleep. The immaculately dressed lady at the reception stared at me nervously as though she expected to be take out an AK-47 in a moment and start shooting in the lobby. I walked on the shiny marble floor across sophisticated rooms with natural lighting, dark wood and white sofas that invited me to take a nap. Anjali was waiting in the cafe, looking quite pretty in some shade of pink. I glanced at the sheets. Screaming out at me was the headline, Anil Kapoor Murder, the Real Story. And below that, looking smug, the byline by Anjali Singh. A picture of her smiling stood right beside the byline. She waited me to finish reading the article and nibbled at a fingernail. She had managed to get the data right. The article started with describing the suspicious circumstances in which the corpse had been found. It mentioned a police officer who wished to remain anonymous, but acknowledged that the main suspect was a member of the Kapoor family. The article then covered the financial problems plaguing the Kapoors and the possibility of the government reclaiming the land originally allotted for the flagship mall due to delays in starting the construction. Towards the end, the article subtly mentioned that in all such crimes, inheritance was a major motivation. The article ended by promising a sensational breakthrough in the subsequent article. I think I'll stop here. Let's take it. Thank you.